Huh. That's odd. There's nobody here. The picture's gone, though. Tenmyouji and Quark must have been here then. I laid out the floor B plan. They must have taken the door that faces the warehouse. After that, they probably went through the warehouse and out the blue door to the elevator. Yeah, that's a much shorter route. On the other hand, I came through the red door, which is kind of a long way around. Huh. Looks like we managed to miss each other perfectly. Well, this was a huge waste of time. Shoot. Might as well head back, I suppose. I'd packed up the map and was headed towards the door when... Huh. There was a light on where there hadn't been a light on before. What? Why's that thing on? We messed with it earlier, but nothing seemed to work. I felt a sudden wave of inexplicable, nauseating dread. The light stared at me. I swallowed and edged cautiously toward it. The machine was in arm's reach now. I stretched my hand out toward it, slowly, slowly.
So, you finally made it.
Who the heck are you? No. You're...
I am Zero. I was the one who brought you here. You undoubtedly have as many questions for me as there are stars in the sky. As you can see, however, this is only a recording. I will therefore be unable to directly answer any questions. Ask if you wish, but I cannot respond.
I considered taking a swing at him, but decided that was spectacularly futile and kept my bald fist at my side.
Now, where to begin? There are many things I wish to tell you, but unfortunately, our time is limited. As such, the information I can provide is also limited. I have chosen two things of great importance to tell you. First, I will tell you about termites. In retrospect, I suppose that's a rather odd thing to say.
We already know about termites. They're not ants.
I imagine you look rather bewildered right now. Perfectly understandable. The person who kidnapped you and threatened you with death is lecturing you about insects. I suspect it hardly seems fair. Nonetheless, this is very important. In a way, it will determine your fate. So I ask that you listen carefully. Have you ever seen a termite mound?
No.
They are splendid structures. Some might even call them works of art. Termites are natural architects, and their mounds are both structurally sound and make excellent use of space. So, are they following some sort of plan as they build? Are there termite blueprints detailing which room goes where? No, of course not. Each termite is simply an oblivious cog in a tremendous machine programmed by millions of years of termite DNA. It is doubtful an individual termite has any idea what its contributions are helping to create. But a human does. We can appreciate the elegant forms of their alien cathedrals. We can see the simple beauty of their perfect functionality. We can understand the splendid planning of their structure. In other words, only an intelligence of a higher order can understand the beauty of what the termite builds.
I don't give a crap, that's what I'm saying.
Consider humans. Why do we love and give birth?
I skipped
Why do we
something accidentally.
create? From where do our cultures spring?
I'll go back, since you all probably wonder. Why are we alive?
There are many theories, but no one knows the truth. We are oblivious cogs in a tremendous machine programmed by millions of years of human DNA. No doubt you see now what this analogy is supposed to illustrate. Yes, I mean to say humans are not different from termites. We trudge through our lives with no greater understanding of our ultimate goal. You might say we don't understand what we're building. Only an intelligence of a higher order than ours can understand what we're doing. Imagine how we might look to such an intelligence. We may be building some structure so perfect and elegant, we can't even perceive it. Whatever it is, we've likely been building it on a dimension just above the ones we know since time immemorial. If we are like the termites, then what we've created is almost certainly something of tremendous beauty. And you are about to catch a glimpse of it. Or have you already? Well, that's enough on that subject, I think.
Finally.
Consider what I've said.
Yes, termites are like... Yeah.
Now, let's move on to the second topic. It is somewhat more immediately meaningful to your life, and, in fact, the lives of several billion other people. I realize this is rather sudden, but I have a password for you. It is the password to disarm the bomb, numbered 1.
What? Bomb?
Are you ready? I will only say this once, so pay close attention.
Oh, God.
The password to disarm the number 1 bomb is BQZ RGJ DXR.
This stylus, man. This stylus. BQC. There. I had no idea what he was talking about. What bomb? Was he saying there was a bombs too? If he'd guessed at my future confusion, he showed no sign of it.
That is the last of the information this message was meant to convey. Before I go, however, I have a warning. You cannot tell any of your companions what you heard or saw here. If you do, you will be penalized.
Oh,
Immediately.
crap.
I hope we will meet again someday. We would have much to discuss.
Crap. Wait! God damn it, you can't just spout all that crap and disappear. I found myself yelling at empty air. The hologram had disappeared. What kind of idiot does he take me for? Termites? Other dimensions? How could that have anything to do with kidnapping us? Crap! I kicked out at a nearby shelf.
10 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes. All players, please enter your votes. If no vote is recorded before the deadline has passed, any non-voting parties will automatically ally.
Aw, crap. I need to get back. Not like there's any point in staying here. I spun around and ran out of the room toward the warehouse. Well, at least I got my,
Grandpa!
At least I got my password right here, even though I might erase it accidentally.
Look, Mr. Sigma's back.
Took you long enough.
You're one to talk. Where are the others?
In the AB rooms.
They went in already?
Yep.
Why didn't you two? Have you been waiting for me?
Yeah. Grandpa said there was something he had to tell you before we voted, no matter what.
Oh?
Nothing that significant. Just wanted to tell you we're going to choose ally this round. That's it.
Huh. And you had to tell me that no matter what? Seems kind of pointless. I mean, words are cheap. You can promise whatever you want.
True, but we've got something to back it up. Just hear me out.
Okay. Go ahead.
Quark and I both have 8 BP. We're already on the home stretch. So what do we need to get to the magic number? Well, we need you to choose ally. If you do that, it doesn't really matter to us what we pick.
You get 9, whether you got 2 or 3 points.
Exactly. That being the case, we don't have any reason to betray you. And if we both choose ally, we both gain points.
True. But you must have considered that I'll choose betray. That would mean you choose betray to protect yourselves.
But that's why we're telling you we won't choose betray.
Mm-hmm.
Can I trust you?
Of course.
Alright, tell me one thing. Let's say we do this in both ally. Everybody gets 2 points. That means you and Quark will have enough to leave, which is great for you. But I'll be stuck with a measly 5. How do I know you aren't going to just open the number 9 door and leave us in the lurch?
I can guarantee it.
How?
I can give you my word. I will not open the number 9 door, even if I have enough points to do so. I swear it. We aren't going to abandon everybody else just so we can escape.
I swear too. I promise.
Man. So all you've got is a promise, huh?
When I make a promise, I keep it.
He's got a point. He didn't choose betray last time.
Trust me.
Please! You've got to trust us.
Alright. Fine. I'll trust you.
2 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
We're counting on you, Sigma.
You've got to choose ally. You promised.
With that, they turned and ran into the AB room, second from the right. Well, guess I should get moving. Music's rather different now. It's because I'm solo? One minute.
1 minute remains until Ambidex game polling closes.
I had a decision to make. Should I trust Quark and Tenmyouji? This is where the flow matters. I don't really need it. Well, I'll save it. Why the heck not? Well, I could believe they were telling the truth and still betray them. That would bring my BP to 6. I'd be that much closer to 9. And choosing betray would guarantee that they wouldn't try to escape without the rest of us. Betrayal seemed like the safe bet. But
Please! You've gotta trust us. You've gotta choose ally. You promised.
Tenmyouji, I could betray you easily enough. But Quark? What the hell was I going to do?
10 seconds remain until Ambidex game polling closes. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's just see how this goes. Watch them go. Bye-bye. Have a nice trap.
Round 3 of the Ambidex game has been completed. Results will be displayed in the warehouse. Thank you for your participation. Ambidex gates now opening.
What does everyone else have? I forget.
Results from round 3 of the Ambidex game will now be displayed. Please direct your attention to the results
Watch
screen.
Tenmyouji and Quark be a bunch of jerks. Watch. Of course. I knew it! I knew it. As soon as I said it, I knew it. But wait. Clover got 11 too.
Points have been assigned or subtracted accordingly. Please check your bracelet to see your updated bracelet points.
Be a bunch of jerks. I can't believe they were a bunch of jerks. Seriously. Hey! What the hell, guys? Why'd you betray me?
Quark had nothing to do with this. I made the vote.
Grandpa.
Alright, fine. Why'd you break your promise, Tenmyouji?
I only promised you one thing. We wouldn't open the number 9 door even if we got 9 points.
What? So you're not going to leave?
Not what I said. Of course we're going to leave.
What?
Look. See Clover over there?
What? Oh. Don't tell me. Bye, Clover.
Oh no.
Jeez.
That bitch!
Wait. Quark and Tenmyouji have...
The words were barely out of her mouth when Tenmyouji and Quark ran past.
No! God damn it!
Clover, are you really going to leave? Well, yeah. Why else would I open the door?
But why?
I'm going to go call the others. So we can capture Zero Senior. Tenmyouji, are you and Quark going too?
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Sorry, everybody.
So, Sigma, happy? I kept my promise.
Wow, what a jackass.
Clover opened the door, not me.
Like hell I'm happy. That's some shady crap,
You
Tenmyouji.
say so. I have to get out of here, and that's that. He's got to pay for what he's done. He? Zero.
You mean you know who Zero Senior is?
Yeah. No point keeping it a secret now, I suppose. I know exactly who Zero Senior is.
What?
The number 9 door has been opened. It will remain open for 9 seconds.
Let's go. Come on, guys. Time to move.
Right.
Oh, wait! This is for you, Mr. Sigma.
Quark held something out. I looked down to see 2 pieces of folded paper. What is this?
It's a letter. I wrote it in the director's office before the AB game. I wanted to tell you what kind of guy Grandpa is. So, read it, okay?
He pressed it into my hand.
See you later, Mr. Sigma.
Then he turned and ran toward the door, Tenmyouji and Clover following in his footsteps. I was so surprised that the letter that I didn't even try to stop them. By the letter? Yeah, by the letter. Before I could think of anything to say.
See you.
Goodbye.
The number 9 door has closed. This ends the nonary game.
Hear this enough times.
Thank you for your participation. As the game is over, all doors other than the number 9 door have been unlocked. Escape is not possible. Please enjoy your stay.
Shit! They're gone.
All we can do now is hope they bring help back.
Indeed.
I agree.
I looked down at Quark's letter and slowly unfolded it. His handwriting was still slightly uneven, but he'd filled both pages with writing. I began to read. It was a really stormy day when he found me. He said the rain was coming down so hard, it almost hurt. But somehow he managed to hear a baby crying. I guess I must have been crying pretty loud. He took me home and did his best to raise me, but he'd never been married or had a kid before, so I think it was really hard on him. He couldn't figure out how to mix the formula, so he was always carrying the directions around with him. Also, I guess I was a pretty picky eater, so if he didn't get the water to formula ratio right, I wouldn't eat it. I guess I was kind of a pain, huh? But he didn't give up, and now here I am. When he found me, I was really, really small, and he was worried that I might not make it. That's why he named me Quark. A quark is a really, really small thing. And I was really, really small too. Grandpa didn't need to worry, though, because it turned out that I was pretty tough. When I was 1, he forgot I was sleeping in the bed of his truck and drove off. I rolled out and went off the back, but I didn't even get scratched. I started walking when I was 2, and when he wasn't looking, I fell down the stairs. I didn't get hurt then either. Then when I was 3, I got really sick. I had a super high fever for a week, but eventually I got better. I guess you could say I'm pretty lucky. Anyway, I didn't really have any more accidents after that, and I was a pretty healthy kid. By the time I was 6, I'd started helping Grandpa out with his work. His job was to gather junk from abandoned buildings. Then he'd fix it up or pull it out for useful parts and sell them. There were plenty of abandoned buildings, but finding good stuff in them was hard. You had to know which parts were useful, or you could end up wasting a bunch of time. Every time I find something, he explained to me what it was, how it was supposed to work, how to fix it, all of sorts of things. Usually, though, I just wanted to finish up the work so I could go to the theater. The theater came to our town once a week in a wagon. They'd show old news or movies. I went every single week, but Grandpa only went once in a while, and he'd only go weeks when they'd show movies. Oh yeah, I didn't know that I'd been adopted until I was 7. One of the other kids on my block told me. I guess after Grandpa found me, he looked all over town to try and find somebody who'd take me. The kid from my block actually had a mom, and he'd asked her if she would take me too. I gotta admit, I was pretty shocked when I heard that. There weren't a lot of kids with parents around, so hearing that someone lived with his actual mom was pretty impressive. I was also kind of surprised that Grandpa had tried to get someone else to take me. Did that mean he didn't want me? The kid who told me about Grandpa trying to get rid of me was a real jerk. He was totally spoiled, and he'd brag to everybody about how he had a mom. He liked to come up to me while I was working and say stuff like, "Must be hard not having a mother." It never bothered me before, but after I found out that Grandpa had adopted me, I started to think that maybe he really didn't want me. If I could work on my own, then he could get rid of me. I was scared to know the truth, so I never asked him. Then one day he took me to a bar in our neighborhood. During the day, of course. He went there sometimes to drink scotch, but I'd never gone before. When we got in, he just walked up to the counter with that grumpy look he has, and I thought, oh no, he's going to make me work here. But I was wrong. I saw him pass something to the bartender, and then he picked me up and set me down on the stool next to the counter. The stool was pretty high, especially for a 7-year-old kid, and my legs were just dangling off it. It seemed really, really high to me, and I was pretty nervous. Eventually, the bartender came back over with a glass of scotch and another big glass full of something else. As I looked closer, I realized that second glass was full of some sort of brown liquid with a scoop of ice cream in it. It took me a minute to realize what it was. A root beer float! I'd never seen one before. I was so surprised. Root beer was even more expensive than the nicest alcohol in the bar. Wow. They must have had some cheap alcohol. To me and the other kids, it seemed more like urban legend than a real drink. But there it was, right in front of me. I stared at the float. I still wasn't sure if it was real at that point, and then it turned in to look at Grandpa. He looked back at me. I didn't know what to do, so I turned to the bartender. He'd already turned around and moved off, though, so I figured he must have put the glass down in front of me on purpose. It still didn't seem like it could be real, and I was just staring at it when Grandpa told me to hurry up and drink it before the ice cream melted. His gruff voice sounded like an angel's. Is this really mine? He nodded. Words can't describe how awesome it was. I'd never tasted anything like root beer before. The creamy sweetness of the ice cream made my entire head feel light. I felt like the luckiest boy in the whole world. That's not an exaggeration. I really thought that. The root beer float was delicious, but what made me even happier was Grandpa. When I looked over at him, he was smiling. I know that's gotta be hard for you to imagine, but he really was. Right then, I didn't care whether he just found me and adopted me or not. He'd bought me a root beer float. That made me way luckier than some kid who had a mother, but had never tasted root beer. Of course, after we left the bar, he was the first kid I bragged to. So Grandpa and I were doing pretty well. Until the fight. I was in a super bad mood that day. I'd torn one of my shoes that morning, and some old drunk guy had yelled at me. All the junk I found was totally useless. The day was almost over, and I was fed up, so I grabbed some random trash and took it back to the house. When I showed what I found to Grandpa, he frowned. He started going through each thing I brought back, explaining why they were all useless. I got really mad and just yelled, "I don't care!" Then he got mad and I couldn't take it anymore, so I ran away. I was pretty upset, and I started to think that maybe Grandpa had only adopted me so he could raise me to work and make money for him. After a while, I went and hid in an abandoned building, but by then I started to calm down and think that maybe I should go back and apologize. It had started raining pretty hard though, so I decided to wait for it to stop. But that was just an excuse. The truth was that I was really nervous. Part of me knew I'd done something wrong, but I didn't want to admit it. The rain didn't stop though, so I just sat there staring out at the gloomy gray sky. I imagined Grandpa coming to get me. It kept raining all night, and he never showed up. I gave up waiting and decided it was time to go home. I was about halfway there when I heard someone groaning. At first I thought I should just ignore it and not get involved, but I went over anyway, and it was Grandpa. He was totally soaked, and I could tell right away that he'd been there for a really long time. I yelled and he opened his eyes a little bit. He smiled weakly and said he was glad I was safe. He spent all night out in the rain looking for me. I felt awful. Grandpa had been out in the rain looking for me so long that he'd collapsed. I was horrible. He'd heard me crying in the rain, but I hadn't heard him. As I ran to get the doctor, I promised whatever God might be listening that if they would only save Grandpa, I'd never ask for another root beer float again. He got a real bad fever, and his temperature wouldn't go down for days. The doctor said that if it kept up, he'd die. If he died, then I'd be all alone. There wouldn't be anybody left to care about me. The thought of that happening terrified me. Fortunately, I must have passed some of my luck on to Grandpa, because a week later, his fever finally broke. I was glad he wasn't going to die, but I also was a little scared. What if he had decided he didn't want a stupid kid like me around anymore? My plan was to apologize as soon as he woke up, but when the moment came, my brain just stopped. Grandpa just started to talk, and it took me a minute to realize he was apologizing. I didn't know what to think. He explained that he was an old man, and that he was going to probably die sooner rather than later. He was strict with me because he wanted to make sure I'd be able to make it on my own after he was gone, but maybe been a little too strict. All of the things I'd worried about had been stupid and selfish. Grandpa cared about me a whole lot. He'd been worried when I ran off, and he'd gone out into the rain to look for me. I tried to apologize, but when I opened my mouth, I just started crying. I don't think I've cried that much since I was a baby. But he just smiled and patted my head. I asked him if he ever regretted adopting me. His eyes got wide and he said, Of course not. He told me that he was looking for a really important lady, and because of that, he'd had to give up on pretty much everything else in his life. But when he took me in and started raising me, he felt like he'd gotten some of what he lost back. That was when I decided I'd stay with him forever, even if he said I couldn't. Does it end there? I guess it does end there. One of the endings, I should say. Oh man, I can't wait to play some more. The announcer. So who's Zero the Second though? And is that it? Nope. Can I skip this? No, I can't. I can't really review it yet because that's just one ending out of like several different endings, if you hadn't noticed by the chart. So yeah, but so far it's like the only game I've recorded for the past few days. Like, yeah, past few days I've had just other videos being backups and stuff, and so by the time you all get this, it'll probably be a pretty few days out, but yeah, I'm really having a good time with this game. Like, I really like a good story, especially the whole psychological type of thing too, because it's like, is he gonna betray me? Or is he gonna ally with me? Or what? And then, let's kick up the music, shall we? Oh, man. I wonder if there's gonna be anything after the credits, though, or if it's just gonna kick me to something else. Like, first the save thing, and then, do you want to choose something else? Oh, man. Yeah, I've been probably recording for about a while. Like, I think I've been recording for 6 hours or something. And that's it just on day 3. I think I've been recording, like, most of the time that I've been playing this, just been recording it, and I've recorded like 3 days in a row, and all of them have been just this game, so yeah. I really need to probably take a break from the game after I get done with one more ending, and record some other games tomorrow, because I should have some time tomorrow, being a Sunday, 23rd, my parents' anniversary. Tenmyouji end. And yeah, that's his face. No. No. What do we got here? Tenmyouji end. Alright, so with that, I'm going to end it here. Hope you all enjoyed the ending. I'll catch you all next time.